Hey there everyone, Pan here, and today I am going to show you another Thai dish. It will be pork, ginger, and garlic. The name of it in Thai is Mu Pat King. So Mu is pork, King is ginger, and Pat is to fry. So literally it means pork fried ginger. And yeah, it's a really delicious dish. So as you see, I have some ginger here, garlic, and pieces of pork. This dish will take a little bit longer than 15 minutes. It will take approximately 25 minutes because of the peeling of the ginger, which takes on around 10 minutes. But to prepare and cook takes about 15 minutes. Alright, so let's get started. First thing I'll do is just mince up the garlic, as I usually do. And as you watch more and more of my videos, you'll start to realize that garlic is an essential ingredient to a lot of meals that I cook. And just beyond that, it's great for you too. It has a lot of antioxidants, tastes great. So yeah, no harm in definitely keeping a lot of garlic around. Just keep it dry and not wet, and it can last a very long time. Alright, garlic minced. Get that out the way. Next, I'll show you the ginger. So with the ginger, here I actually cut with my left hand so you guys could see. So with the ginger, you actually want to cut them into slices. Like thin slices like this. And the reason why you want that is because eventually you'll cut it this direction as well, into thinner strips. And you want the ginger to be thin strips like this as much as possible, because you want to make sure that each bite you take from this dish isn't too much ginger at once. And also, just so while you're cooking, the ginger also releases its taste onto the pork and mixes nicely together. That's when the dish becomes really delicious. So those are some things that you gotta keep in mind when you're slicing up the ginger. Not too thick, not too thin. Yeah, this ginger takes a long time to slice. And yeah, when you guys are starting off, you might cut the ginger too thick or so, and you'll see what I mean. The taste is very different from thin cut opposed to thick cut. Just cutting my left hand here, trying to show you guys some action. This might not be very efficient in terms of for the video, so I'll actually switch back. Sorry for that, guys. But yeah, I have some nice thin slices of ginger now. Now there's this one. Just break it up. Ginger is too big. Break it up into nice pieces that you can slice nicely. Cooking's an art, so this is completely up to you. There's many ways to achieve the same outcome. It's all up to you. You're the artist here. See, this to me is a little thick. I would want to cut that in half. Yeah, some of these slices became a little thick. But no worries, nothing a little cut can't do.
when you're purchasing a ginger, try to get the ginger to be as young as possible, so it doesn't have a lot of roots in it. So once it has a lot of roots in it, it's also makes it significantly more difficult to cook. So this ginger I'm cutting right now is about mid-age, so it has some roots in it, but not too much. So it's pretty decent to cut. Not taking too much of my effort. Well, yeah, if you guys been cooking, you guys know this whole cooking procedure is exercise in itself. It takes, energy to cut all these pieces up, to stir things, to hold things in place and such. So cooking's great. It's not just it's more than just about making food to put in your stomach. It's also about the process. And now I'm gonna be cutting the pork. So pork, I'll just cut it this way. Yeah, I think this is the best angle so you guys can see. Maybe I should just switch the camera around to the other side too. That would be a better idea probably. But yeah, just thin slices, just like this, just like this, just like this. Thin slices, thin slices. There we go. Yeah, so slices like this is great, like this. You don't want the pork slices to be too thick, then they'll take too long to cook. And if it takes too long to cook, the meat might get hard. We want to avoid that. We want tender meat. Alright, last piece. There we go. We're done. We have everything. It's now up to frying time. Turned up the stove. Got that oil in. Get it all around the pan, all around the pan. So in addition to not having food be stuck on the pan, the use of oil is also to make sure the food cooks uniformly. So you want to make sure you have enough oil, and when you put the items you're trying to cook onto the pan, make sure that you get all the oils all up on all the pieces. So that way it heats up uniformly, because the last thing you want is food that's not evenly cooked. So while the oil is heating up, I'm just going to put the ginger and garlic in there to fry first before I actually put the meat in. And the reason for that is I want to get the flavors out. I want the heat to break down the garlic and the ginger up a little bit, have it release this flavor, and then I throw in the pork to absorb that flavor. Oh, and this dish also works for chicken as well. So if you feel like using chicken instead of pork, that totally works. Great, there's this nice smell happening. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Just kind of stir it around, get oil all over the different pieces of ginger and garlic so it uniformly cooks. And we'll do the same for pork once we put it on. And you could tell when it's ready based on the smell. So when I cook, I guess I use visual cues and also smelling. And that's how I could tell when something is ready. Because for this, you'll smell a very sweet smell coming from it. And that's how I know the ginger has started secreting its taste and it's time to put in the pork. It's a ginger smell. It's very unique. It's very hard for me to describe, so I won't try. But yeah, it's about there. Time to throw in the pork. And while the pork is raw, you also want to add some fish sauce to it. So that way that meat takes it in before it gets cooked and forms the shell, the cooked shell around the pork, which is when the pork turns white or brownish, depending on what you're cooking it with. The cheese is in here, and I just start mixing it around to absorb up the flavor as much as possible while the meat is still raw. And how you know meat is still raw is when you see it pink like this. So I'm just gonna stir fry this around and around for a while. My housemate just walked in and was probably thinking, oh, this guy must be crazy talking to himself now. But I'm just making a cooking video, Aaron. And the heat's at about medium while I'm doing this stir frying. Now you'll see that the meat's starting to turn brown, which is starting to indicate that it's getting cooked. The reason why it's getting brown is because the ginger actually gives it a brown tint. And while this is cooking, I'm just gonna get some rice. So this is a dish you eat with rice. So I'm just gonna spoon some rice onto a plate. And right here, you see that it's starting to produce juice as well. That's like the ginger, primarily ginger juice mixed with garlic. And that's what's gonna give this dish its primary flavor. So I turned off the heat because whatever remnant heat is left on this will be enough to finish cooking it off. I'm using an electric stove as well, so the heat stays around compared to a gas stove. Yeah, just stir it around a few more times and the dish should be good. Nice tender meat with some tasty ginger sauce on it. So Thai people traditionally make this dish also by adding sugar to it. I don't add sugar, I just get meat that's naturally sweet and that's enough. So super healthy meal, ginger, pork, garlic, fish sauce, brown rice, and don't forget the kale. Definitely do not forget that kale. Yep, everything's cooked. Smells great. It's Just get that off, get that off. So you'll notice after I'm done that there's a lot of sauce still on the pan. And this can make it a hassle to clean. So what I do is I add, so let me just show you this pan again. It has all that sauce on it. That's pretty much the ginger sauce that from cooking the ginger. So to help me clean this pan easier, I actually just throw the brown rice right on it and stir it around the pan to soak up the nice flavors, and also it will clean off the pan somewhat for me too, making it easier for me to clean. So that's another tip for you, to also deal with the hassle of cleaning stuff. No one likes cleaning, including me, but you know, you gotta do it. So you might as well find productive ways to do it. There you go. And now the juice has been wiped off somewhat, which makes cleaning a lot easier actually. And I have great tasting rice that just absorbed the ginger juices. Yeah, the final dish looks like this. There's the ginger and the rice right here. Bon appetit, guys.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys cook this dish and share it with a friend. They'll be very impressed. Till next time, guys.